Hey Beasts, how you guys doing tonight? This is a video that I've honestly been putting off, or like I haven't really saved the time for making it until tonight, and I figured that tonight was probably like the best night I could make this video because as I'm recording this on June 22nd, and earlier today my friend Danny, you've probably seen a bunch of my videos, just texted me, be like, dude, it's been 3 years since we graduated high school, so it's like, okay, with an anniversary like this, it's time we make this kind of video. I've been doing these kind of videos every year since I graduated high school. Yeah, back in 2017, I made a video talking about my high school experience, and 2018, like late that May, I made a video talking about my freshman year at CSU. Then last year, 2019, like shortly after my Germany trip that I took, I made a video talking about my sophomore year. So obviously, keeping in line with that sort of beat, I'm gonna make a video talking about my junior year. Or as I like to call it, my like third year, because credits wise I'm still a junior even though I'm going to be a senior this fall. Like I'm probably graduating in the spring of 2022 at this point, or fall of 2021. We'll see what happens, I guess, but we got plenty of time to figure that out. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys about how my school year was and how things have been for me lately, and just accomplishments, goals, certain things, plans for the future, how things went. And yeah, and I can, honestly, I don't know if my third year is my best year or not. I mean, I'm inclined to say that it is, but it's like, after what happened back in the fall, it's like, I had to, if you've been watching my videos for a while now, you probably know, I had to drop out of like Colorado temporarily after a month into my fall semester, for personal matters. I'd honestly would rather not go into on YouTube. It's pretty private. I would rather keep it to myself. But even though I was only like going to CSU for just a month, that fall semester, like it did not like go to waste. I didn't like completely waste all my time, in my fall semester, because like the dorm that I lived in was, because I've lived off campus, not including summers. I've lived on campus for every year as a college student. I'm not going to this fall and moving into my friend Max's house in August. And that's what I've been doing lately. That's another reason why I haven't made this video faster, is because I've been looking for new roommates to move in with me. But yeah, that was, out of all the dorms I lived in, that one was my favorite. Like, all my neighbors were so nice, and I got along, like, we clicked, like, immediately. And my friend Forrest was on that floor. You guys have probably seen him in my Birds of Prey review I made with my girlfriend Sarah back in February. And before I left CSU temporarily, we made reviews for It Chapter 2 and Hustlers. So yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He graduated that December, and yeah, wherever he's going in the future, I hope things work out for him. And yeah, it's like, it was a pretty pleasant, like brief fall semester for me, but it's like, went home because of, things I would rather not mention, as I've stated. And like, yeah, being home for the rest of the fall semester, I'm not gonna lie, it fucking sucked at first. Like, I was just really upset to have left CSU that abruptly, but like, I knew things were gonna work out for the best in the back of my head, and they really did, because not only was I able to come back to CSU after being away for a set amount of time, but I made the best of my fall. Like, I turned 21 back in, early October. My birthday's October 5th. And yeah, I had a lot of fun making my 6-year celebration video, of making YouTube videos, and I was able to hang out with my friends from high school some more. And I had a pretty solid 8 weeks going to community college right there in my home, state in New Jersey. And going to a community college, as well as finding a part-time job at Petsmart, being a cashier, it really opened my eyes to like how fortunate I was to grow up in the community that I did. Because like, I remember, coming home to my mom one day, when I was taking a U.S. history at that community college I was going to, like, and I'm not giving any names. I'm not saying this to like knock on anybody or like, badmouth or gossip, but like some of my classmates were like the worst procrastinators I've ever seen. It's like they didn't care anything about doing the assignments or studying or any of that stuff. And I tell my mom, and it's like, that's what, your high school got you ready for. Because I'm not gonna lie, I went to a really pretentious, elite high school. It was a public school, but it was still like really academically inclined, and like most schools in my area honestly aren't. they don't get the funding that they deserve, and they don't like emphasize, I guess, academic success beyond high school as well as they should, and that rubs off on a lot of kids. The people of all ages go to community colleges. It was a big eye opener for me. It's like, wow, other kids are like not as academically inclined. It's crazy to think about this. Like when you are like in a college demographic, I think less than half of Americans don't have college degrees. And the half of them who do have college degrees, that includes people with just associate's degrees, not just bachelor's or master's degrees. That's really crazy to think about. That like there's all this emphasis on education nowadays, and like, oh, nobody, like there's like that many people that don't really go to school. Like that's crazy to me. And working at Petsmart especially too, it's like people like, who work retail jobs like that. Again, not just like college students, people after college who still work retail. It's like some people just really need the jobs, and I'm glad I worked at PetSmart, even though I was just a cashier. It's like I chose PetSmart because I'm studying zoology. I'm only minoring in zoology. I used to be a major in zoology, but chemistry here in Colorado is satanic, and I just could not handle it, so I changed it to a minor. And I really wanted to be around animals, even though it's just a cashier. It's like I met so many cute dogs and cats and all sorts of cute little babies. I even met a baby skunk on one of my shifts. This one dude brought like a baby skunk to PetSmart. I mean, they don't have ferrets, but they do sell ferret food. That's the best guess why I'd bring a baby skunk to PetSmart, because skunks are mustelids. They're in the same family as ferrets. So yeah, that was a really special occasion. And yeah, my coworkers were really nice too, and there were a lot of really nice kids at community college as well. So I met a lot of fun new faces, and again, new experiences were made, new memories were made, and yeah, honestly, again, the fall semester, it didn't go as according to plan, but coming back to like CSU, like I know people keep like I just remember like being so like hyped for the new decade in 2020. It's like, yeah, and then it took such a huge downturn with COVID-19 and the horrible like incident in Minneapolis and all the riots, and like Australia burning down, the bushfires, and all this other stuff that's been happening lately. People have just been like up in arms, like, oh, this is the worst year ever, like it's the end of the world. But you know what? I've just been thinking a lot lately. It's like people have been saying like, oh, the end times are upon us for like hundreds of years, I feel like. And I really think, if my grandparents can, overcome World War II, I'm pretty sure we can overcome this lockdown, and like another election cycle is boiling down between two dipshit candidates. And for what it's worth, like this past January and February, like, before the lockdown hit, was the best January and February ever for me. Like I'm not kidding, guys. Not just coming back to Colorado, but it's like, my mom and I took a vacation for a week, just hopping around ski resorts in Colorado. Like we had such a blast. We hit up Vail, like our good friend Indra let us stay at her place in Vail. So yeah, big shout out to Indra for letting us stay at her place. We have Vail, Beaver Creek, we did go to Breckenridge, but we went to Telluride. Guys, if you're in the Colorado area, if you love skiing or snowboarding, you need to check out Telluride. It's a small town with a big heart and an even bigger mountain to ski on. Oh my gosh, like Telluride's so cool. Like everyone there is so friendly. Like I was at this bar that was, conjoined my hotel. After my mom went to sleep, I went there and I met some really nice people like at that bar, and like one of them even told me, it's like, oh, in a small town like Telluride, like everyone's a homie. I'm like, no one from my fucking high school would ever say that to me. Like that was amazing. And just coming back to CSU, it's like I managed to get back in that same hall, that same dorm that that I was in. So I basically just picked up from where I left off. It's like all my hallmates were really happy to see me. My roommate was happy to see me. Like Forrest was happy to see me. When he came to visit me. He was going to a League of Legends tournament that weekend back in February. So yeah, this like my spring semester. I mean, all the shitty stuff that's happened this year, like the really bad stuff, have all been things that were beyond my control. Like I had no say in the lockdown and the coronavirus and like everything I just mentioned. The murder hornets and the riots and blah blah blah. It's like those are all things that were beyond our control, and in all honesty, some good things have like come out of this lockdown, because like with the online classes, because basically second half of the spring semester, so after spring break, all the classes went to online classes. I noticed that a lot of the professors were actually more generous and more understanding and easier grading than they would be if they were in-person classes. Like, yeah, I was stressed. There was a lot of work, but like getting extra sleep, being able to sleep in every day was really nice. And yeah, like I just, another reason why I've been putting this video off is like I just finished my first summer class like a week and a half ago. It was for beat generation writing. So basically a lot of novels and poems written by Jack Kerouac, Allen Ginsberg, Amiri Baraka, those like writers between the 1950s and 60s. Yeah, I just finished a 4-week class for that. And I've heard all kinds of horror stories of people who take that class during the summer. It's like, oh, it's so hard. I wasn't able to do it. But like mine's was, it kept me busy and there was a lot to do. It was a lot of work, but like it was never overwhelming or a huge amount of stress for me. And I think it's because it was online and, it was a lot easier to take quizzes and, I could be more secretive and, with the Zoom calls and the Zoom lectures, my professors, my classmates and stuff like that. And yeah, probably the biggest, like, again, the reason why I say that, like, this semester was the best for me was because I met my girlfriend, Sarah, back in February. And she's been such a blessing, because I've talked about this quite a bit in, like, my, like, a handful of my previous videos. Like, Sarah's the only girl that I've, like, dated seriously. Before her, like, I met, like, between like my senior year of high school and like my freshman first half of my sophomore year of college, like I met like a handful of girls that I was just like flings with, or like I meet this one girl like through Tinder or a house party and we vibe just the first time we meet, and then next day we're like, meh, who cares, like either I never see her again or we're just cordial afterwards. But not her. It's like I actually can say that like I'm in a healthy, functional relationship with someone, and it's been really liberating. Then like other awesome things that happened, when I came back to CSU, is that like her, me, and a bunch of like my friends from Outpost, the church that I go to, in honor of The Last Airbender's 15th birthday, we managed to like take over one of the big lecture halls on my campus and watch as much of season 1 as we could before the janitors asked us to leave at 10 o'clock that night. And everyone's like rejoicing that like Airbender is now on Netflix, and I'm just like, amateurs. I've had a complete series on DVD since July. Like I was in Barnes & Noble last year when I was living off campus. Not too. Yeah, when I made like a bunch of videos like last year when I was living in an apartment. Like I went to Barnes & Noble one night and just figured, hey, it's an Airbender night, so I bought the whole series on DVD and watched it with my roommates at the time. And yeah, like Sarah and I were watching that. We started the Airbender spree back that night in February, and we resumed it, right after the spring semester ended when I moved into my new place. I've only like filmed 2 videos in this new place, which I should probably make more like this. But yeah, we we just finished season 3 the other night. It was just really refreshing, and all the, like I said about all the bad stuff happening, so far this year being beyond my control, it's like, I remember, like, before I took my semester off, before I went home, for the fall semester, it's like, throughout high school and my freshman and sophomore year, here in Colorado, it's like, I've had pretty bad lapses of judgment, and I've made some, like, stupid mistakes, like, really, really stupid mistakes. I've touched base on this in a handful of my videos, but like I've done some things that I still feel kind of guilty and embarrassed about. Like I still feel like a sense of shame, but at the same time it's like those things shouldn't matter anymore, because what's in the past is in the past. And I've talked about this before. People might not forgive you for the things you've done, but what's more important is that you forgive yourself, because you can't control what others think about you, inevitably, but you can control forgiving yourself, because obviously you can control that. And yeah, I might have done some really bad things, but like, they don't mean anything anymore to me. I try not to let them mean anything anymore. I still get like mad at myself sometimes about those mistakes and those like slip-ups and times I didn't live up to my potential, when I was prioritizing what I wanted to do instead of what I needed to do. Yeah. But you know what? We're human. We all make mistakes, and I really don't want to define people based on how far you fall. It's more about like how far you bounce up from that fall. And like, that's not just with mistakes. Like, when you're pursuing a career or your grades, it's like, yeah, I'll admit I have bombed classes, before. And I've had to drop out and switch classes and stuff like that. I don't view those as like those weren't like defeats. Those were like taking a step forward by taking a step back. Because the road to victory and success is paved with failures and losses and disappointments. You can't just not try or not attempt at something just because you're afraid of failure. Like that's not right. That's not how I do things. Like, yeah, sure, it might fall flat on my face, but at least I can say I tried. At least I can say I attempted at it instead of, just cowering in my house like a wimp. Jeez, I'm drinking coffee at almost 11 o'clock on a Monday night. What is wrong with me? But yeah, it's just, sometimes school and like finding a roommate, it's like dating. It's trial and error. It's like, yeah, Sarah and I, we've been together. Like, we met during a syllabus week, which is like the first week of classes when teachers just, getting you ready for the course. So it's not a whole lot going on. There was my church, our guy Brent, who's one of the leaders at Outpost, he was hosting a house party at his place, which is what they do like at the start of semesters. Like, people who don't really, like, churches like Outpost see the most amount of people who don't really go to church at the start of the semesters, because that's when kids like trying to, figure out where the social life is and whatnot. And I met Sarah at that party that night. She was there on the couch, and she was wearing a Gojira sweatshirt, which is like a super like heavy metal band from France. And like really screamy stuff, right, guys? I see that sweatshirt at a church party. It wasn't like love at first sight. It was more like, what blasphemy is this at first sight? But because that, like, we hit it off instantly. We immediately just started talking about like metal and music and classes and stuff like that. Because I mean, I do like metal. I just don't like black metal or death metal, those like really extreme subgenres. And I told her why. Like, she's all about, like, Sarah's all about that stuff. Like, she has a whole collection of like black metal like CDs. I can't get into black metal because in high school, like, again, I'm not saying this to talk smack about, I'm not like giving any names, but like, I had this classmate who was way too obsessed with Norwegian black metal, and like, he just could not shut up about Immortal, like this black metal band from Norway, and like he would just obsessively yammer about it all the time in class. And I got so sick of him yammering about it that not only could I like not enjoy the music when I finally decided to listen to it, I went to the teacher and I was like, yo, if he comes in here and just yammers about heavy metal for 30 minutes, I'm going to lose my mind. But yeah, like, when like Sarah and I are driving around her car, and she's playing black metal, I can like I can tolerate it, for her sake. But like, if she plays Immortal though, I will scream. But yeah, it's like, it's just been really great, dating Sarah, because she's liberated me, and it's like, I can have a like healthy, functional relationship with a beautiful woman like her and not force myself to be something that I'm not, because I used to be under the impression that, like, women only go for, like, alpha males. They only want guys that are dominant and aggressive and assertive and have really big dicks and play a lot of sports and are really athletic and go to the gym and are, like, super macho, manly douchebag types. But obviously that's not the case. The whole alpha male, like, archetype, it works well in movies, but not so well in real life. And actually, back in November, I watched this really great YouTuber. His name's Dan Bacon. He's like a dating advice YouTuber, and he made a whole video like talking about like, a good first step to, being more attractive to girls is to like get these like secret excuses out of your head. Like, I think a lot of time guys be like, girls don't like me because I'm short. Girls don't like me because I'm fat. Girls don't like me because I'm too skinny. Girls don't like me because I'm too nice. Girls don't like me because I'm bald. Girls don't like me because I'm broke. Girls don't like me because I don't go to the gym enough. Girls don't like me because, whatever, X, Y, Z. And looking back on it now, I think my secret excuse was my lack of experience. Because, my freshman and sophomore year, I feel like I was turned down by girls because they like found out that like, I was a virgin and that I was, I haven't dated anyone before. That's like a turnoff. Like, you're inexperienced, get away from me. Like, and even like a handful of like my female friends and my sister were like, yeah, I don't like inexperienced guys. I want to date someone who's, not a virgin and has been with, girls before me. And that was I let that get the best of me because I was just assuming, well, I'm gonna die alone then. It's like, oh, I used to like tell myself like, oh, if you go into like your sophomore year of Virgil, like you're screwed, like girls aren't gonna like you for that. But no, that is a lie. That is not the case. And I think, I realized at the end of like the summer going to my sophomore, like, August of 2018, so like end of that summer, like start of my sophomore year, like I realized that the root of all this like frustration that I was feeling was me being my own worst critic. Because if people are like really thinking, like, people are their own worst critics, like you might think that others think all these horrible stuff about you, but they don't. And if they do, hey, that's their problem, not yours. Hey, excuse the clinking noise for a sec. I just got my computer's low on battery, so I just needed to charge it. And yeah, Sarah and I have just been rolling. We've been vibing. Like, we just made a funny video, like, a few weeks ago together of us eating too much spinach. She's featured in my annual food challenge that I always do on my YouTube page. And, yeah, that's just, honestly, she's meant the world to me. And it's, hopefully, things can continue going well with her. It's like, they're reopening the movie theaters here in Fort Collins soon, and they're playing The Matrix soon at like the theater that I used to go to a lot. Yeah, honestly, I wanted to apologize to you guys about like the lack of uploads that have been on my YouTube page. I mean, I've been uploading videos for sure, but it hasn't been as frequent as it has been in recent years because I've just been really busy and unmotivated. Like, again, online classes weren't that bad, but it's like they were really starting to like get me down. Like in the middle of April, oh my god, April this year was it was endless. Like, I was really just feeling out of it, like, especially, like, before 420 Blazed Day, so, like, the week before that, like, a big snowstorm hit my area, and I was basically stuck inside, not even able to leave my building for, like, days. And then, like, also, Sarah was away. Sarah and I almost went 2 months without seeing each other because, after spring break, most people left the dorms after spring break. I stayed because I didn't really have anywhere else to go, but like she went back home with her parents. So we went almost 2 months without seeing each other, and me not being able to see her was pretty hard, as well as other people as well. Like I couldn't like see like a lot of my friends because of the outbreak and because of the state of the emergency that we were all in. And yeah, it's like I was just really stressed out with these like massive projects I had at once, but things got better after that. And the crunch times never last forever. No winter lasts forever, and you just got to keep looking forward. And this is all a test. Like everything that's been happening lately, it's all just been like a big test from God or the universe or whatever that means for you guys. Just that like we might not be able. It might not be our fault that it's happening, but we're gonna be better after this because of that. Like, I was raised Catholic, and the saints are a big deal in the Catholic Church. And ever since I was a kid, my favorite saint has always been Joan of Arc. She's from France, and she was, like, a warrior in the 100 Years' War. She, like, as a teenager, she fought, like, waves of English invaders during the 100 Years' War, inspired, like, thousands, and has been a feminist icon for centuries. And she was only, like, 19 when she was executed, which is really crazy to think about. And was made a saint in the Catholic Church because of that. And she was executed on May 30th of 1431, I believe. And yeah, May 30th is her feast today, and I really don't think it's a coincidence that her feast day this year was, like, right after the horrible incidents in Minneapolis. Because, again, it's like, this is a reminder that, if she can do all that as a youngster that she was, we can certainly overcome this lockdown and this pandemic and the riots and the police brutality and whatever else, like, comes our way this year. Like, better times are coming. I really feel like 2021 is going to be the best year yet, when hopefully things are starting to calm down and, like, hopefully they'll have a cure for COVID-19, but I'm not holding my breath on that, obviously. We'll see how things play out. It's just, be grateful, acknowledge what you have. I talked about this last year. It's like, when you're upset about things, like, that happened in the past or things that are beyond your control, just, like, take a breath and recognize, like, what's right next to you and appreciate what you have already. It's like, yeah, and something else that happened this year, right before Easter, actually, my grandfather passed away. My granddad on my dad's side, so yeah, all my grandparents are dead. Like, I actually made a video talking about my grandmother on my mom's side passing away my senior year of high school. And yeah, before I made YouTube videos, I lost my other two grandparents. And my mom's dad passed away February of 2011. Yeah, like 6th grade. And then my dad's mother passed away like a month or two after that. So yeah, like my grandfather, I know this might sound kind of bad, but like I was relieved when I found out he passed away, because he was in such horrible pain for like 3.5 years. Like he was living in the same facility, not able to do anything by himself. It's just like not how I would want to end my. It's just not the way I'd like to see my life end. Like honestly, I really don't care how old I get in the future. I just don't want to end up like him, where I just have to be like spoon-fed all the time and like turned over and just like too physically and not to do anything. I would really hate that. And I'm like, it's like my uncle, so like my grandfather's oldest son, died of a heart attack last year, my sophomore year, like right after my birthday actually. And yeah, I can't imagine what that's like. Your own child dying before you, like that's rough. That's really, really rough. And I would never want to go through that. Like I would never want to put like my children or my grandkids, my nephews or nieces through that. If I ever like have kids or nephews or nieces one day, we'll see how that turns out, I guess. But yeah, it's like my grandfather, he's finally out of pain. He's back with his son and his wife and, all his siblings. They've all been waiting for him for a while. And yeah, he's moved on from this world. And, I try not to worry about the day I die, because it's like, what's more important is now, and that you make the most of your day. Like, I've been doing Would You Rather Wednesdays in the community tab for a while now, actually. And I asked you guys, like, last week, would you rather, know when you'll die or how you'll die? And I think almost all of you voted how you'll die, which I was really surprised by. I'd rather know when, so I can prepare for it. Like, say I find I'm gonna die in a year or two from now, it's like, well, shit, might as well drop out of college and sell my stuff so I can travel and donate to charities and all that good stuff. But if I already know when I'm dying by, I can prepare for it. But if you know how you'll die, it's like, what am I gonna do? Like, oh no. Like, what if I find out I'm gonna die by like finding myself on a stranded island full of dinosaurs and being eaten alive by those giant slug things that killed Andy Serkis in the 2005 King Kong remake? I think I'd pee myself if I found that out. Oh my gosh. Anyway, just want to let you guys know, I really wanted to say thank you again for my channel hitting 250,000 subscribers. That means a lot to me. Like, we're at 250,000 views. That's really crazy to think about. That, like, I've been making YouTube videos for like 7 years almost. Yeah, my YouTube channel turned 7 years old this October. And yeah, we made it to 250,000 views. I'm hoping to make it to 300,000 views by New Year's Eve. I don't really care about hitting 2,000 subs anytime soon. We're close to 1,300 subs. That's really nice. But yeah, it's like 2018 my channel hit 100,000 views, and 2019 last year we hit 200,000 views. So if we can turn out like 100,000 views on an annual basis, like at least, that would be amazing. Like I'd be so like thrilled if we could make it to 300,000 views by New Year's Eve. And again, me not uploading as frequently, it's nothing against you guys. I'm not losing interest in YouTube at all. It's just like priorities. I'm a student. My studies come first. YouTube comes later. And also trying to now that I have like some breathing room, like, because my next summer class isn't until like mid-July, so I basically have 3 weeks. Till then, I'm just, I'm looking for roommates, when I move out of my current apartment in August. And, and yeah, I'm looking for a job. Like, I've been doing some things with my mom for Shackley, the company that she works for. I'll make a video about that soon, actually, if you guys are interested in any products. But I would like, a job where the pay is more consistent, because YouTube is not a job. YouTube is a hobby. I haven't been monetized for over 2 years now. I'm still pretty salty about that, honestly. And, yeah, I gotta figure out what's wrong with my Patreon account. So, yeah, the guys I used to support on Patreon, Darth Deadpool, Ryan O'Toole, Dangerville, Knick-Knack Gaming, my apologies. My debit card got hacked back in January, so I had to get a new one. And for whatever reason, I haven't been able to figure out how to get my new debit card to work with Patreon. So I might just have to start a new Patreon account completely, which would be kind of inconvenient. But hey, what are you gonna do? I'll figure it out. And yeah, just YouTube goals. It's and achievements. I've been, enjoying. I've been keeping myself busy. I haven't been, I get sad sometimes, but I haven't been miserable. Not nearly as miserable as I was. I would have phases of just feeling really upset and angry throughout the years, but I really haven't been feeling that enough lately. And I have a lot of things to thank for that. I have, my friends and the church I go to, and Sarah, and my family, and just gotta keep reminding yourself, your blessings, because they far outweigh the bad stuff. And there's like a lot of people I know who are probably in like worse conditions than myself, and yeah, it's like, wow. But they've been improving too quite a bit, and I'm really thrilled for them. And yeah, anything else I wanted to mention about my third year, as a college student? I mean, obviously it didn't go as according to plan, but like I said, I'm probably graduating the spring of 2022 at this point, so I'll be like a super senior. Like, there's plenty of guys and girls who need like an extra semester or two to graduate college. There's nothing wrong with that. So, as far as I'm concerned, this coming fall and spring semester is going to be my junior year do-over, because, a big wrench is thrown all of our plans this year. It's like, I having to drop out of college temporarily this past fall, and of course the lockdown, making everyone go to online classes. I don't know about other schools, but my school is like, apparently it's going to be in-person classes until Thanksgiving break. Then after that, they're just moving back to online, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You'd think I want to do the other way around, because, but hopefully by Thanksgiving, the virus won't be like nearly as much of an issue by then. But we'll see how that plays out, I guess. And yeah, like, hopefully things will be back to normal by, the spring semester. So like by January, hopefully things will be back to normal. Honestly, I don't want things to go back to normal. Forget that. I want to make a new normal where everyone's just nicer to each other and is more considerate and grateful towards each other and for the communities. Because I didn't realize how much I take things for granted, like movie theaters or churches or restaurants or bars or in-person classes or libraries or all those like everyday places for granted until they all closed. And like the lockdown was like right on St. Patrick's Day, and I was so bummed because I was like, my first St. Patrick's Day as a 21-plus-year-old, and I can't even go to the bars. This is ridiculous. Like, yeah, that was a huge bummer. I'm still kind of upset about that. But you know what? That is what it is. And again, this is not the end of the world. End times are not coming. I hope, honestly, when I'm like old and ready, and I'm like have a steady income, and I've made like an adulthood for myself, and once I have like a house with a bunker full of like guns and like canned goods and bottle caps, then the apocalypse can happen. I'll be ready for that. But yeah, I want to just enjoy myself as much as I can. And like, I traveled a lot last year, even before the lockdown, but I wasn't planning on traveling much this year. I was hoping to travel more within the country, head up states and cities I haven't been to yet. So when the world reopens, I might get back to traveling on a more regular basis. That's another reason why I'm looking for a job, so I can save up the money to do so. And also, like, the reason why like I haven't made as many videos this year so far as I have like in previous years was because like the movie theaters closed, so I can't review movies for you guys. Though they are reopening the theaters in my area like soon-ish, like for older movies, of course, because nothing new is coming out. So I might make like a classic movie review for you guys, at some point in not so distant future. And also expect 7 animal fact videos and 7 My Leg videos that go up within the span of 2 weeks. And if I can get a copy for it sooner or later with my Best Buy gift card that I got as a Christmas present I still haven't used for anything, I'm hoping to do a Modern Warfare 2 Let's Play. I mean, the remastered version they just made for the Xbox One and PS4. I know that's been out for a while, so this is Let's Play is gonna be more like a mini-series, really, than like an actual, like full in-depth Let's Play. It'll be like 5 episodes at the most. They'll be like chunky episodes, but not like a super long Let's Play. Not like my Far Cry 5 Let's Play went on for like over 50 episodes. Jeez. Yeah, and that's just what's been going on. It's like, I know things are going to work out for the best. Things always work out for the best. You got to keep like saying that to yourself till it makes sense. And I'm just really determined to end my time as a college student on a strong note. I've considered going for grad school. Not right after I graduate, from undergrad, because I certainly wanted the money for it at the time. But like, I'm trying to, just think about my future, a little bit. Like, I used to want to study abroad. I don't care about studying abroad anymore. Like, because looking back on now, knowing myself, especially before I turned 21, it's like if I studied abroad in a different country, like I'd be way too distracted by like the bars and the cultural festivities. Like, if anything, from what I've learned from like my Canada, Mexico, and Germany trips last year is that like, if I'm going to be overseas somewhere, I'd rather be there as a tourist, not a student. I want to go there to relax and have fun and meet people and check out like places and learn about culture and history of that certain country and just, live it up and enjoy myself, or do volunteer work. Honestly, the only study abroad programs I'd be interested in would be like, at this point, would be maybe like 4-week summer programs. Yeah, I'm trying to go for that. Like maybe in Africa or someplace like that. Yeah, I could cover some of my upper division zoology courses. Or maybe find like a nice, English study abroad thing, because I'm an English major. But we'll see. I got plenty of time to think about that, I guess. Excuse me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry if this video was, kind of all over the place. These kind of videos are always all over the place. And yeah, just really want to say thank you. You guys have, this channel means the world to me, and you guys mean a lot to me. I know there's not many of you who watch my videos, but like, it really like puts a smile on my face when I see like the handful of you guys, like vote in the polls that I put up in my community tab, and like watch my videos and hit the like button and comment on my videos, and you guys liking my stuff on Instagram. Like, my Instagram's in the description down below, so if you're like want to see like my artwork and my drawings and stuff like that, there's plenty of that there. And yeah, just want to say I love you, and I really hope that things work out with the world and the state of that we're all in right now. And I just hope that I could, I'm pretty sure I'm determined to keep YouTube as a consistent thing for me without the expense of my studies or like my friends and stuff like that. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to make more videos before my next summer classes, because I don't see myself like making that many videos because my next class can be a 4-week class, and my scout camp was canceled this year too, so like because of the virus. Not surprised. I'm bummed, but I'm not surprised. So I'll probably be sticking around in like Colorado for another like bunch of months, for school and other stuff too. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you guys haven't done so already, please subscribe. And this is your man TVB9, and you guys have a fantastic night.